Trustee Berger.
Here.
Trustee Garvey.
Here.
Trustee Zalick.
Here.
Trustee Geezer.
Here.
Trustee Fruzzoloni.
Here.
Trustee McCarthy. Mayor Savarino.
Here. Please stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Their motion to approve the minutes of our June 7th, 2021 Village Board meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee McCarthy and by Trustee Berger. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Fruzzoloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Under our listening posts, we have a special presentation tonight of a life-saving award. Chief Homer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, good evening, Mayor Savarino and village trustees. Now that Officer Larson has joined us, we can get started. The police department has several awards which can be earned by police officers for their performance. And not all of those awards are presented in front of the village board. However, not many awards deserve more recognition than the Life-Saving Award. I'm so proud to be in front of you tonight to present life-saving awards to two of our officers. On March 6th, Officer Amanda Larson was dispatched to a home because a 9-month-old child was reportedly choking and breathing abnormally. Officer Larson arrived and found the child with her mother, and the baby was in fact having difficulty breathing. Officer Larson immediately took control of the situation, and following her training, she delivered back blows to 9-month-old Camilla. The back blows dislodged the obstruction from Camilla's throat, and she began to breathe normally, and more importantly, for any of you who have ever been in a situation like that, she began to cry. So I don't know if Camilla and her family are here tonight. I know they plan to be here, but we'll see what happens in the end. In a similar story, on May 7th, Commander Brian Cooper was off duty at a restaurant with his family when he saw that a 3-year-old child was choking on a piece of food. Commander Cooper immediately intervened and delivered back blows to the child and dislodged the food from little Riley's throat, allowing her to breathe normally again. You know, police officers don't do this work for awards or fanfare. In fact, when I told Officer Larson that we were going to present her with this award, her reaction was, "You don't have to do that." And she meant it. She's humble, and so is Commander Cooper, and I know there's some discomfort on both of their behalves to stand here in front of you tonight. I want to thank, again, I know Camilla and her family were supposed to be here, but I want to thank the families for being here. The Coopers, no relation to Commander Cooper, are in fact here tonight to support Brian, and I know they're extremely grateful. At this point, can I ask Officer Larson and Commander Cooper to come on up? So I'm going to present you with this certificate, which is a life-saving award presented on this 21st day of June to Officer Amanda Larson in recognition of your quick actions on March 6th, 2021, which saved the life of a child. And oddly enough, Commander Cooper says just about the same thing in recognition of his quick actions on May 7th, 2021, which also saved the life of a child. Congratulations to both of these fine officers for their outstanding work.
Can we comment?
Yeah, sure.
While they're still here.
Yeah.
Both thank you and congratulations to both of you. What I've learned time and again from our police department is you guys are never off. Whether it's on duty or off duty, you're ready to help people. I know police officers still getting a bad rap, but you're here to help people, and this just proves it once again. And I know you do it again in a heartbeat, so thank you for what you do, all of you.
Anyone else?
Well, I've worked with both of you, and I know you guys are well-respected, and I really, really appreciate you giving the police officers a good name. Like I said, they get a bad rap, like Trustee McCarthy said, but on duty or off duty, you guys were there, so thank you.
I see the family just came in, is that correct? Is that, Amanda, is that the child that you saved?
Anybody else?
Would you like to come up and say a few words? No? No? Right there would be fine.
You're perfect.
Okay, well, I just want to say thank
Last
you.
time, could take it.
I'm sorry. I want to say thank you to everybody, especially the great department you guys have here in Carroll Stream. Very, very grateful for saving the life of my daughter. If you guys weren't for you guys, she wouldn't be here today. Even though I'm a medical professional, you freak out in certain circumstances, and it was just a blessing to have you guys literally do everything for her. It just means so much to me and my family. She's literally about to turn 1 this week, so if it wasn't for you guys, she wouldn't be here, so thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say that I know what that family is going through, because when I had a medical emergency with my own son, Officer Amanda Larson was the first one on scene, and while there really wasn't much she could do until the paramedics got there, she was a very calming voice. She did a great job with keeping my son patient and calm in a very stressful situation, because while she was there, his condition changed and it became a very serious situation. And by the time we got to the hospital, my son was actually in critical condition. So knowing that when I called 911 and Amanda showed up, I was thrilled. I would have been thrilled with any member of the Carroll Stream Police Department, but Amanda was absolutely amazing. And my son calls Officer Amanda his officer. He knows his paramedics' names as well. So I just want to say thank you. And Brian, amazing. I mean, any one of our police officers would have done what both of you did without even hesitating. But this just goes to show why we always say we have the best police department in the state, in the country. It doesn't matter. You guys are amazing, so thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, and always being prepared and ready to assist our residents and residents wherever they live. So thank you very much to both of you.
I would just like to add my thanks for your bringing honor to the entire department. I'm certain that you've earned 2 lifelong cheerleaders for yourselves and for the department, and I honor you as well. Thank you.
I would also like to say thank you and congratulations, and thank you for making the rest of us look good.
And I'm going to say that I live in this community for one main reason, is I always felt safe here. 44 years and I felt safe. We've had a great police department. We've got the best police department now maybe we ever had. And there's a lot of people that come up to me and they say, thank you, Mayor, thank you, Mayor. I love to feel safe, and your police department makes me feel that way. And we have nothing to do with the fire department, but they make the people feel that way too. They work hand in hand together, and that's important, because usually the police officer might get there first and start the preparation for when the paramedics or the firemen get there. And that's really important. You could live any place you want to live, but you want to feel safe where you live. And our police department and fire department, which we have nothing to do with the fire department, I don't want to take any credit for them. I spent my first 4 years as an elected official with them, and I know what they're capable of doing. They are terrific, just as our police department is. and people love to live in a town where they feel safe, especially if they're raising a family. So from my heart, thank you guys. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Cooper, for what you did. It just shows how much better we are than everybody else, and thank you. And I know any one of you would do the same thing, so thank you. Okay, get on with the meeting. We are so far behind right now in,
Thanks, Amanda. Got us way behind.
no, not because you were 2 minutes late. That's got nothing to do with it. We haven't recognized employees for probably a year at least that have got as many as 35 years of service. And usually we go through and we like to read a resolution and thank them for their 25 years, 30 years, 35, whatever it might be. So tonight, we've got several of them to read, and the first one is going to be read by Trustee Garvey, and it's resolution number 3195, recognizing Dave Norwal for 35 years of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream.
Is Mr. Norwal here tonight? No? Okay. Well, I'm still proud to read this. A resolution recognizing Dave Norwal on 35 years of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream. Whereas Dave Norwal was hired as a Water Sewer Employee 3 on May 19th, 1986. And whereas Dave was promoted to the position of Water Sewer Employee 2 on January 3rd, 1994, and promoted to his current position of Water and Sewer Employee on December 24th, 2012. And whereas Dave has worked to ensure the reliable delivery of safe drinking water to the community throughout his career, including the transition from well water to Lake Michigan water. And whereas Dave has worked to operate, maintain, and repair the sewer collection system to ensure the public health throughout his career. And whereas Dave has served as a valuable member of the snow fighting team. And whereas Dave has developed substantial knowledge of water and sewer systems operations and maintenance throughout his 35 years of service in the department. And whereas Dave has shared his knowledge and experience with his coworkers. And whereas Carroll Stream is a better community as a result of the professionalism, competence, and dedication Dave brings to his work. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Carroll Stream, on behalf of all the former and present elected and appointed officials and residents of Carroll Stream, that Dave Norwal is hereby recognized and commended for 35 years of dedication and service to the Village of Carroll Stream. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage as approved by law. Passed and approved this 21st day of June, 2021.
Thank you, Trustee Garvey. The next one is resolution number 30.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, I'm sorry.
So moved.
I was going to do them all.
Second.
at one time.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. We'll do them that way.
no,
Moved by trustee.
we'd have to put them on the consent agenda then to do them all as
No,
one. So
we're,
you
we're,
can-
we're okay.
You can do
Moved by
that.
trustee
And
Geezer,
Geezer
seconded
seconded
by
by-
trustee McCarthy. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Fruzzoloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
The next one will be resolution number 3196, recognizing Doug Newland on 30 years of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream, and trustee McCarthy will be reading that one.
Whereas Doug Newland was hired as a mechanic helper on July 26, 1990, in the Public Works Department and was promoted to mechanic on May 11, 1994. And whereas Doug Newland has produced an outstanding record of maintaining vehicles and equipment for use in the delivery of critical services to the community. And whereas Doug Newland has demonstrated the creativity and skill to design and fabricate customized tools and equipment for use by his fellow employees. And whereas Doug Newland has maintained an outstanding attendance and safety record. And whereas Doug is a critical employee in annual efforts to prepare the fleet of snow and ice equipment and in keeping that equipment readily available throughout the winter season. And whereas Doug consistently and reliably delivers high-quality work as a member of the snow fighting team. And whereas Doug has served as a model and has led by example in helping to train several new mechanics during his tenure. And whereas Carroll Stream is a better community as a result of the professionalism, competency, talent, and dedication Doug brings to his daily work. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Carroll Stream, on behalf of all the former and present elected and appointed officials and residents of Carroll Stream, that One, Doug Newland is hereby recognized and commended for 30 years of dedicated service to the village of Carroll Stream, and that this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage as approved by law. I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 3196.
Second.
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Fruzzoloni. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Fruzzoloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
The next one is resolution number 3197, recognizing Ron Turner for 30 years of employment with the village of Carroll Stream, and that will be read by trustee Fruzzoloni.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 3197, recognizing Ron Turner on 30 years of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream. Whereas Ron Turner was hired as a Water and Sewer Employee 3 on June 4th, 1990 in the Public Works Department and transferred to the Street Division in December 1990. And whereas Ron Turner was promoted to the position of Public Works Employee 2 on June 4th, 2000. And whereas Ron Turner was promoted to the position of Public Works Employee 1 on July 1st, 2016. And whereas in his capacity as a Public Works Employee, Public Works Employee 1, Ron has provided outstanding support to his supervisor and served as a mentor and model for other employees. And whereas Ron has developed considerable skill and experience, especially in the area of streetlight maintenance, and has always been generous in sharing his experience with other employees to improve their abilities and learn to protect themselves from workplace dangers. And whereas Ron has worked countless hours in the delivery of critical services as a member of the snow fighting team. And whereas Ron's positive and professional approach to his work reflects his understanding of and commitment to his responsibilities as a public servant. And whereas Carroll Stream is a better community as a result of the professionalism, competency, talent, and dedication Ron brings to his daily work. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Carroll Stream on behalf of all former and present elected and appointed officials and residents of Carroll Stream that 1, Ron Turner is hereby recognized and commended for 30 years of dedication and service to the Village of Carroll Stream. 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage as approved by law, passed and approved this 21st day of June 2021, and I will make a motion to accept resolution 3197.
Second.
Moved by trustee Fruzzoloni, seconded by trustee Garvey. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Fruzzoloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
The next resolution is number 3198, recognizing Rich Schaefer for 25 years of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream, and that will be read by trustee Berger.
Resolution number 3198. A resolution recognizing Rich Schaefer on 25 years of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream. Whereas Rich Schaefer was hired as a Public Works Employee 3 on June 26, 1995 in the Public Works Department, and whereas Rich Schaefer was promoted to the position of Public Works Employee 2 on June 26, 2001, and whereas Rich Schaefer was promoted to Public Works Employee 1 on July 30th, 2012, and whereas Rich has earned and maintained an arborist certification and in that capacity has provided mentoring and guidance to fellow employees and education to residents in the care and the maintenance of the urban forest. And whereas Rich has proven to be a reliable, skilled operator in all snow fighting equipment and has demonstrated leadership in the department's effort to improve snow and ice control strategies and to reduce salt usage to protect Illinois waterways. And whereas Rich has served as a knowledgeable first responder in preparing for and responding to community emergencies. And whereas Rich is consistently available for and reliable in responding to overtime work, and whereas Carroll Stream is a better community as a result of his skill, experience, and dedication to public service. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Carroll Stream, on behalf of all the former and present elected and appointed officials and residents of Carroll Stream, that 1, Rich Schaefer is hereby recognized and commended for 25 years of dedication and service to the Village of Carroll Stream. 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage as approved by law, passed and approved this day, on this 21st day of June 2021. I will make a motion to approve resolution number 3198.
Second.
Moved by trustee Berger, seconded by trustee Zalick. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
The next one is proclamation designating June 21st to the 27th as Pollinator Week, and trustee Giesers has asked to read that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It's a proclamation designating June 21st to the 27th as Pollinator Week. Whereas pollinator species such as bees and monarch butterflies are essential partners of farmers and ranchers in producing much of our food supply, and whereas pollination plays a vital role in the health of our national forests and grasslands, which provide forage, fish, and wildlife, timber, water, and recreational opportunities, as well as enhanced economic development opportunities for communities. And whereas pollinator species provide significant environmental benefits that are necessary for maintaining healthy, biodiverse ecosystems, and whereas the Village of Carroll Stream manages wildlife habitats and public lands such as retention ponds and butterfly way stations, and whereas the Village of Carroll Stream promotes wise conservation stewardship, including the protection and maintenance of pollinators and their habitats on working lands and wild lands. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Carroll Stream, the week of June 21st to the 27th, 2021, be known as Pollinator Week in the Village of Carroll Stream, and all residents are called upon to celebrate by supporting efforts to protect and feed pollinators and promote the well-being of future generations. Proclaimed this 21st day of June, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Giesers. Do we have any addresses? I noticed on the agenda, we have village board meeting is being held virtually to the public. We're done with that, right? We're
still doing that.
We are? So do you have any that might have came in?
We have received no electronic comments.
No electronic, and there's nothing in the back?
Nothing.
Very good. Means we could proceed right on. Okay, is there a motion to establish a consent agenda?
So moved?
Second?
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Frusaloni. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read what is on the consent agenda?
Certainly. Board and Commission reports. Plan Commission, Zoning Board of Appeals. 21-0014, Dynamic Investments LLC, 680 East North Avenue, zoning map amendment from B2 General Retail District to I Industrial District. Special use permit for motor vehicle service, special use permit for outdoor activities and operations, storage of trailers, zoning code variation, North Avenue corridor review, recommend approval with conditions 5-0 with 2 members absent.
Yes.
Yes.
21-0007, Midwest Star Group, 130 Easy Street. Special use permit for outdoor activities and operations in the form of storage of trucks and trailers. Special use permit for parking lots for motor vehicles not incidental to a permitted use. Zoning code variation, recommend approval with conditions 4-1 with 2 members absent.
Yes.
Yes.
Staff reports and recommendations. purchase of ERTs for the AMR replacement program from United Systems and Software, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $116,275 pursuant to the provisions of Sections 5-8-3B and 5-8-14C of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Purchase of registers for the AMR replacement program from Midwest Meter Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $116,375 pursuant to the provisions of Sections 5-8-3B and 5-8-14C of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
Yes.
Award of a contract with the Law Office of Michelle L. Moore Limited, doing business as the Moore Norton Law Group Limited, for a term of 3 years, with an option to renew for an additional 2 years for DUI and local traffic prosecution in an amount not to exceed $111,800.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Award of a professional services agreement without bids in accordance with CSMC Section 5-8-14A for Phase 2 engineering to Engineering Resource Associates for the design, permitting, and contract document preparation for the Klein Creek Stream Bank Stabilization Section 3 project in the not-to-exceed cost plus fixed fee amount of $113,292.
Yes.
Yes.
Award of a professional service agreement without bids in accordance with CSMC Section 5-8-13A1 for concept phase engineering to V3 Companies Limited for concept engineering design and IEPA 319 grant application for the Klein Creek Streambank Stabilization Section 2 project in the cost plus fixed fee amount of $12,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinances. Ordinance approving a special use permit to allow for outdoor activities and operations in the form of the storage of trucks and trailers, special use permit for a garage or parking lot not incidental to a permitted use in the industrial district, and a variation to allow the parking of trucks in the front yard, Midwest Star Group, 130 Easy Street, CF1B.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is ordinance number 2021-06-23. Ordinance approving a zoning map amendment to rezone property from the B2 General Retail District to the I Industrial District, Dynamic Investments LLC, 680 East North Avenue, CF1A.
Yes.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2021-06-24. Ordinance approving a special use permit for motor vehicle service, special use permit for outdoor activities and operations, storage of trailers, and zoning code variation, Dynamic Investments LLC, 680 East North Avenue, CF1A.
Yes.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2021-06-25. New business, receipt of the Carroll Stream Public Library fiscal year 2021 annual report.
Received.
American Legion Post 76, approval of their 2021 annual raffle license and waiver of the manager's fidelity bond for weekly raffles held at 570 South Gary Avenue.
Yes.
Yes.
Payment of bills. Regular bills, June 8th, 2021 through June 21st, 2021.
Yes.
Yes.
Addendum warrants, June 8th, 2021 through June 21st, 2021.
Yes.
Treasurer's report, revenue, expenditure statements, and balance sheet for the month ended May 31st, 2021.
Received.
Received.
That concludes the items on the consent agenda.
Is there a motion to put those items on the consent agenda?
So moved?
Second.
Moved by trustee Frizzalone, seconded by trustee Garvey. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Gieser.
Aye.
Trustee Frizzalone.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
There a motion to approve those items by omnibus vote?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Berger. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Okay. Is there anybody here that Mr. McNeese is already getting up to leave? I was just going to say, everything was passed and pushed through, so you don't have to stay and listen to us if you don't want to. Well, I'd love to. Yeah, I'm sure you would. Thank you. Okay, I guess we'll go right in the report officers, so let's see, Mr. Berger?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Would like to congratulate Dave, Doug, Ron, and Rich on your longevity with the village. Having worked in corporate America for the same company for 25 years, I know that's difficult. So congratulations. Hoping everybody had a great Father's Day. I didn't anticipate evacuating into the basement to end Father's Day, but we did. Made for a good story. I don't know how much rain we got last night, but it was significant, and it came down fast. So we had our, well, and not to upstage Trustee McCarthy with his twin grandbabies, but we had our new puppy with us that we had to try to convince that it was time to get down in the basement, so that was interesting. The puppy is already ruling the house. And then, since our last meeting, attended a ribbon cutting for Burger Theory. I should be able to pronounce that right. That's how everybody says my name. It was very delicious food, so I just want to give them a little shout out. So head over to the Holiday Inn and enjoy some burgers at Burger Theory, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Berger. Trustee Garvey?
I'll just add my commendation to Mr. Norwal, Mr. Newland, Mr. Turner, and Mr. Schaefer. It just amazes me the longevity of our employees. And it just shows that Carroll Stream's a great place to work, for sure. Belated happy Father's Day to all the fathers of the village. And a couple of weeks ago, I attended a DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference, matter of fact, with Mr. Berger, Trustee Berger. And I found it very informative and educational. I didn't expect it to be, frankly. So I'm grateful that the village participates in that conference, if nothing else for that training. So that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Trustee Garvey. That means we've got Mr. Zalick. Trustee Zalick?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know I already thanked them, but thank you, Amanda and Brian. Like I said, I worked with you guys, and thank you for your quick actions. And I'm proud of all the first responders in Carroll Stream, and another reason to defend and not defund the police department. I would also like to congratulate Dave, Doug, Ron, and Rich for their long years of service to the village of Carroll Stream. You make us proud. Thank you very much for all you do. Second of all, like I said, to touch base with Trustee Berger, I know a lot of times people hear about, a tornado watch or tornado warning, or they have the sudden urge to go outside and watch the lightning show. But just know that, take warning, because that 0.5% that it won't do anything, and when it does, you're going to be outside and you're going to be in trouble. So just know the difference. A watch is favorable conditions, and a warning is rotation or twisters on the ground. So just heed the warning. And finally, I would like to thank Joe Highland on his last, on his last village board meeting. Is that correct?
Since my replacement isn't here tonight, she's out of town, I would probably be at the next one unofficially.
All right, well, I keep saying congratulations, and I'm not going to say it again. So get out. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Zalick. Trustee Geezer?
Thank you very much. I, too, would like to congratulate again, I did mention earlier, as we all did, to Amanda and Brian. Great work. Thank you for always being on the watch for the safety and the security of our residents and those throughout the community. Also to the employees that we honored for longevity, just tremendous that they've chosen to dedicate their work life to the village of Carroll Stream and to the residents here in Carroll Stream. So thank you very much for all you do. Village Clerk Schwarzy and I had an opportunity to visit Milton Township for a tour and open house today. So I just wanted to mention that. So we got to meet the new supervisor, John Menino, also the sheriff, Mendrick was there, and county board members, Schwarzy and Eckhoff were there as well, and just seeing what other local bodies of government are doing. So thank you for having that. And, some of you may have noticed on social media that the Carroll Stream Park District is doing a survey on their residents' interests in community park. Please take your time to take that survey to let them know what you're interested in for that park. It's quite a big park. Manager, Meller, how big is that park exactly? Because the village owns part of it.
The village does own part of it. At one time, it was known as the Multi-Community Park because it was operated by the Carroll Stream Park District, the Glen Ellen Park District, and the Wheaton Park District. And then they ran out of funds, so they reverted it back to us. And then the Carroll Stream Park District graciously offered to take the park part, the high and dry part. We maintain the stormwater part of the park. So I forgot how many acres each of us owns right now, but
it's a large park,
rather
it's a
large
beautiful
park,
park, and the village is working collaboratively with the park district to
Correct.
with grants to potentially do some additional amenities throughout that park. So please take the time to answer the survey and let people know what you're interested in. And a question for one of the staff members, the other board members had mentioned the storms last night. Under what situations do the tornado signals go on, the sirens? Is it when there's a warning, a watch?
When there is a tornado or a wind disturbance within.
So tornadic action?
Yeah, within a certain distance of Carroll Stream, and that's activated by DuPage County, by DuCom.
Okay, so if you hear the siren.
Correct.
Take precautions,
And it's an outdoor early warning siren, so if you're indoors, you may not hear it. It's for people that
we
are
heard
outdoors.
it.
Yes.
We heard it.
Well, depending on how close you are to the siren. Yeah.
So thank you for that. And we won't have another meeting before the 4th of July celebration, so everyone, please celebrate the independence of this great nation with your family and friends and do it safely. And we'll see you next month. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Geiser. Trustee Frizzolini.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know I congratulated Brian and Amanda, but I also want to point out that what makes our police officers so special is the training that they receive. They receive a lot of training, and this board has been committed for years in the past and years in the future to make sure that our staff is always trained and prepared for whatever emergency may arise. And this was a perfect night to show how two police officers happened to be the first ones at an emergency and were able to save two very precious young lives. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to Dave, Doug, Ron, and Rich. To have 4 Public Works employees that are ranging from 25 to 35 years it speaks volumes. Our Public Works Department is second to none as well. I've had the pleasure of being out on snowplow ride-alongs with them, and they don't stop until the job is done. It doesn't matter what the weather is. I know that we had one crew go out today to assist in the tornado area of Woodridge, and then we have 2 teams tomorrow going out.
We'll send one team back to Woodridge tomorrow, and we're tentatively scheduled to go to Darien on Wednesday.
what happens when Mother Nature decides, hey, it's Father's Day at 11:30 at night, let's throw a tornado into a very densely populated area and see what happens. Call-outs go out for mutual aid. We've been very fortunate in the past that when we've had weather events, other towns have sent crews to help us, and I'm very proud that our crews are going out to help other towns, because as scary as it was here, I couldn't imagine what Naperville or Darien or Woodridge right now, what they're going through with the devastation that happened. As we said, the sirens, because there was a lot of debate on Facebook today, the meaning of the sirens. It is to warn people that are outside to take shelter. It is not meant for you to hear in your home. There is a difference between a tornado siren and the ThorGuard system that alerts to lightning. They are very different warning systems, because some people were confused thinking that it was a lightning warning. And in actuality, the sirens were activated twice last night in Carroll Stream, while we still had two active, we call them in my house a red box, two active tornado warnings right over Carroll Stream. So I know my phone went off last night, and a lot of people are debating whether their cell phones should be going off. There might have been some issues with different cell phone carriers, but our phones went off, and as soon as that went off, about 3 minutes later is when the tornado sirens went off, and we were going to the basement. I don't want to make any levity of the situation, but I don't know if this was timely or not, but my sister actually posted on Facebook a humorous analogy to get people to understand the difference between a warning and a watch, put out by, I believe it is the Norwal Fire Department. So a watch is like if you were going to go and buy all the ingredients for tacos. So you go and you buy all your ingredients. That's a watch. You're watching it. When you actually put everything together and you actually make the taco, that's a warning. Again, I don't mean to make levity, but when I saw that, it's a simple way to explain to people the difference between a watch and a warning. A watch, again, it could happen. A warning, take shelter, because it most likely is going to happen. The other thing that I saw on Facebook I just want to mention is there are a lot of people within Carroll Stream that want to help. We all have friends or know someone who lives in one of these areas, and the generosity is overwhelming. What I would just suggest to people is check the Facebook pages for the towns, for their fire departments, for their police departments, because that's where they're going to post information for what the community needs. Right now, what they don't need is they don't need people flooding to the area to take pictures, to stand around, because today was the day for assessing the damage. Where are their live power lines down? Where do they still need to potentially be, searching for lost pets and whatever? So today was assessment. Tomorrow begins cleanup. And they will be bringing in a lot of heavy equipment to take and move trees, and power and utility companies are going in mass force to try and get utilities turned back on to people. And right now what they need is patience. They will need help eventually, and people want to go and help, the people whose, houses were affected, and that is wonderful, but right now you become more of a risk of getting hurt than you are actually helping. And Phil, you can speak to this much better than I can.
Thank you. Yes, our crew that was there today was engaged in cleanup. Very, very significant damage. But they reported back to us that one of the biggest challenges today was the gawkers, the photo takers, those who were curious. The streets were littered with branches and tree trunks and housing materials. So just getting around was difficult. And then trying to do their work of chipping large branches while cars were stopping, taking pictures. It's dangerous work to begin with. So the biggest challenge they faced was the parade of cars going through a very, very difficult terrain. I corresponded with the Public Works Director in Woodridge today. He's speculating that cleanup and assistance will continue into next week. So I'm sure for private parties there will be opportunities made known in the not too distant future for how they might be able to help.
Thank you, Phil. So if you want to help, I'm sure they're going to be collecting essentials, water and clothing, but check with the towns because they will post that information and how you can go about helping. And like Trustee Geezer said, apparently I didn't realize that this was our last meeting before the 4th of July. I don't know how it already is getting to be the end of June, but happy 4th of July to everyone. And with that, I will end my report.
Thank you, Trustee Frizzaloni. Thank you for the update. That's important information. Trustee McCarthy.
Thank you. Trustee Geezer mentioned the survey that went out for the Park District. We also have sent one out to random residents, not to everybody, to 2,500? About 2,500. Please take the time to fill it out. We're trying to make sure that there's something that we can't do better. Yeah, we always talk about a great staff we have, and we do. But if there's something that can be done better or there's concerns, this is the easiest way to address it. It takes a little bit of time, but please take the time and actually fill it out because it will help us become a better village. Any comments on that, Tia?
Yes, we are very excited about this survey. We really do want your input. If you have any trouble accessing the survey through the link or through the mailed version sent to your home, please give us a call at Village Hall and we'll walk you through the process.
Thank you. Joe, sad to see you go. You're a professional reporter. You report. You don't try to make the news. But when you read an article written by you, you report what was said. You don't change it. You don't put your own view onto what somebody said. You report the news, and that's called professionalism. And we're going to miss that. It's been an honor having you here and breaking bread with you a few times. So congratulations on your retirement, but you'll be missed. The listening post tonight was kind of interesting, going through a couple life-saving awards, a 35-year employment, a couple 30s, a 25. And the one thing that kind of struck me on all the proclamations, and I think it answers it perfectly, is for each of these employees and all of our employees, Carroll Stream is a better community as a result of your professionalism, competence, and dedication. And I want to thank everybody who cares and comes to work every day and makes this community a better place. So thank you, and congratulations to everybody who we did do a resolution or a presentation for tonight. Of course, happy 4th of July, since we won't be here. It kind of sucks that one more year that we don't get to celebrate as a community. We'll be back. We're still tentatively scheduled for fireworks for Labor Day, correct? Labor Day weekend?
We have money in the budget for a fireworks display, just not on the 4th.
Right. Yep. Fair enough. That's a good enough answer. And one more, I want to give a shout out to Lynn Colvin. She's a bartender at Game Time. She threw together about a 5-hour fundraiser to all proceeds went to the Veterans Homeless Shelter in Wheaton. And in that 4 or 5 hours, she raised over $1,600. All it was, Paul Zarnicki made some food. They did a couple raffle prizes, and the Panopolises, they donated part of the sales back to it. So in short order, she was able to help people who need it most. So congratulations on a well-run, quick, thrown-together event. Nice job, Lynn. And with that, I will end my report.
Thank you, Trustee McCarthy. Tia, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Well, we are counting down the days to the beginning of the Carroll Stream Summer Concert Series. July 15th is the opener of the summer concerts, and we'll have our friends, the Breakfast Club, out, and then the following week, we're going to have our concert for the troops. Just a few reminders of some of the changes this year for our summer concerts. We will not have food or beverage vendors. However, you are welcome to bring a picnic basket filled with some of your favorite snacks. Just make sure you don't bring any alcoholic beverages. We are looking forward to seeing everybody and getting back to some of the classic heart of Carroll Stream with our summers at Town Center.
Thank you. Would you like to just go quickly over how we did the State of the Village again?
Absolutely. So you'll see in the next week that we're going to be posting a State of the Village. which is going to be an online video with snippets from each of our departments talking about some of the highlights of things that have happened either over the past year or some key things that are going to be happening in the coming months. We just really want to give you a chance to connect with some of our favorite projects or some of the most important things going on in the village. It'll be about a 10-minute video. It'll be accessible on our YouTube channel, our social media, our e-newsletter, and our website.
And it's done by designated people from each individual department, or they would designate someone to go out in the village and talk about what's going on. And I thought last year it was wonderful. And this year we shot it again, and we used the president from the Chamber. Chamber president was in and shot with me, with Tia, and then we closed, and then it goes to everybody else. But I think it really reaches out to the people more than having a luncheon that we spend a lot of money on and basically have us there, the fire department there, the park district, the library. It's not the residents that are there anyway. It's like a party that we spend money for, and we really get nothing out of it but a free lunch. And I'm not looking for a free lunch, and no one else is. What we want to do is get the information out to the public of what's going on, and that's probably the best way to do it right now. Maybe next year we'll do it different, but thank you for putting that whole thing together.
I have a question for Tia. I know you said don't bring alcoholic beverages, and I know there's no food, but do we know if the chamber is going to be there? I know the chamber, they're not going to be there? Okay. Thank you.
And just want to say thank you to all the departments that made somebody available to talk about the projects that they're working on, as well as Tracy Kahn with the Carroll Stream Chamber to talk about some of the business programs that we have in Carroll Stream.
Clerk Swarzy, do you have anything you'd like to talk about?
Thank you, Mayor Severino. Yeah, just a couple things. Like everybody else, I really want to commend the four gentlemen, Dave, Doug, Ron, and Rich, on their years of service to Carroll Stream. And what that tells me, I think it sounds like they're all in the Public Works Department, so Phil, you must be a really good boss. I mean, that's a long time to hold on to employees, so congratulations to all of them. And also thank you to all the police officers and all the first responders that put their lives on the line every day to save other people's lives. Like Mayor Severino said, they make our town a safe place to live. So thank you to all of them. In terms of Pollinator Week, that Trustee Gieser read that, the proclamation about that. Really excited. I bought a couple of butterfly bushes last year from Lowe's at the end of the summer. And they made it through the winter. They look pretty bad in the spring, but they made it through. And I just saw my first butterfly yesterday. So I'm super excited to be promoting that cause. And also wanted to say a belated Happy Father's Day to all the dads in the room. My dad just celebrated his first Father's Day in heaven. He died a week after Father's Day last year. And I'm just so grateful that everybody took COVID seriously this last year, because just last weekend, my siblings and I were finally able to host a memorial service for my dad and my mom, who passed away 3 months after my dad last year. So we couldn't do it right after my parents passed because COVID was such an issue and we weren't allowed to have more than 10 people in a room. But it was such a blessing to have, we had 100 people together, all our family, all of my parents' friends, and just be able to hug each other again just felt so good. So I am just grateful to everybody who took COVID seriously and wore the masks and got vaccinated to make that possible. I feel like our family's a lot more at peace now. And then last but not least, I want to remind everybody to keep shopping Carroll Stream. On Father's Day, I ran into Mayor Severino, a couple other friends in the store, and it's just great to see all the community out there supporting our local businesses. So please keep shopping Carroll Stream.
Very good, thank you. Thank you for your involvement in going to the open house in Milton Township, that was very nice.
Yeah.
Their new director will be here in July, I think. We invited him in and to come in to look at our operation. So
Yeah.
he'll be here on
John Monino, yeah.
July 6th or 7th or something, so.
It was great because he was extending an open door to say, hey, let's work together, let's work across communities to share information. Like, they don't have a senior center yet, so they're gonna be probably looking to us. I know Wayne Township is a nice senior center, so it's just nice because we can share information and try to,
Well, it's important that we work with all the townships that are around Carroll Stream, and we have that relationship to work together. Very important, especially when they have senior centers and other things. going for them, food banks and stuff. So, Mr. Rhodes, do you have anything? Our village attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of quick things. I want to also congratulate Amanda and Brian on their award. But I also think we ought to recognize some other people, and the first is the Board of Fire and Police Commission, because they ensure that this village gets the very best candidates possible, and that's very important. And secondly, Trustee Fruzzoloni touched on it. You know, the village board is very much in support of its police department with the funds for training and other aspects, and I think the board ought to be recognized for the fact that they realize how important a professional police department is to the residents of this village. And I think that's of course very important. And I'd also like to congratulate all of the individuals from the Public Works Department who have served a long time in this village. And then my best wishes to Joe on his retirement. I know if we see you back here again, Joe, it means you're bored. And finally, happy 4th of July to everyone in the village. And that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Mr. Meller, our village administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of items. Our asphalt rejuvenation project is scheduled to begin this week in areas south of Lees Road near County Farm Road. The project should take about 10 days or 2 weeks to complete, depending on weather. We need dry weather for that project to work. So I know they're calling for rain later on this week, so it may push it back a couple days. Notification letters were sent to residents in the affected areas last week. The other project that we have ongoing right now is the Schmale Road Water Main Replacement Project. That project is, about 75% complete, Bill?
Yeah, it's
okay.
about 75%.
And we're coordinating with DuPage County, who is also scheduled to do some road work, so we want to get the underground work done before the pavement gets installed. So, and then finally, thank you and farewell to Joe Highland. You probably don't expect to hear that from people that you report on, but in these in these days of fake news and you don't know what to believe, we can always read your articles and know that they're true to form. So we will miss you, and best wishes in your retirement from the Examiner. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Meller. Well, I would like to thank Amanda and Cooper because we're very proud of them. I mean, to save a life today is a phenomenal thing, and they both jumped right in and did what they had to do. And we're very proud of that, very proud of our police department. Tonight, we gave away, well, we didn't give away, we read over 100 years for 4 employees from the Public Works Division. I want you to think about what they've been doing, 100 years between the 4, over 100. While you're sleeping, they're plowing your snow, your water mains break, they make sure your water works. I mean, all the utilities that go through this village all go through Public Works. And these guys have been doing this, these 4 guys, for over 100 years between 4 of them. So I find that to be absolutely amazing. One, the only employee that's older in time here is our village manager, and next is Dave, is that correct?
Yep.
That is fantastic. So Bob's got over 35 years, but for Dave to have over 30 years is just fantastic, 35 years, fantastic. So think about that when you're sleeping and it's snowing and you wake up and the plow's gone, all the snow's off your street. You get to go out because of the work that they done while we're all sleeping. This weekend is the Grunt Style Car Show. Grunt Style has become a major, I would think they're going to become a major supplier of clothing because we don't have anybody else that sells clothes. So their car show is this weekend, and they're right down the street here. And it starts, I think, at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning. It's open to everybody. Anybody can go out there. I stopped there today, and a friend of mine wants one of his cars in there. So they really have a lot of cars coming. Should be very interesting. They're going to do raffles. They're going to have food. It's going to be a very interesting day. And their store is going to be open, and they're going to be highlighting a lot of their stuff. So if you're not doing nothing and you're watching this, you got all, the rest of the week to figure out if you can come out there next Saturday. We have a ribbon cutting next Monday at El Chorizo Bakery on Gary Avenue. That'll be, I think that might be, is that the last ribbon cutting we have for a while?
I think we have one a couple weeks after that, but yeah. in the
That's
recent-
fantastic. Just keep them ribbon cuttings coming. I love the ribbon cuttings. Last night was a little scary, I got to tell you. Took a little water in my lower level. I was out there, and all I could think of is how stupid it was for me to be out there trying to get the water keep from coming to my basement with those oak trees that we have. The lightning's cracking. Don't criticize me, because I know. She's like, why did he do that? I couldn't believe that I was out there, and I got a steel rod with the thing on the end, and I'm thinking, I'm going to die back here. The water is not going to get in my basement no matter what I have to do to keep it out. So, but we got through it. I did get some water, but it was fine. There's a lot of people that suffered a lot more than I did last night. So I have one major thing that I want to do. Joe Highland, would you come up here, please? I want, the board and the staff have put together a bag for you. Tia, would you come on up front?
I don't wonder how good a job I did.
I don't want you to know that either. We put together some stuff in here. I put a challenge coin in here for you from the village. That was one of the things that we did. There's a grunt style certificate in here for you. But I want to say thank you because somebody mentioned how professional you are. And for me as the mayor, to have a journalist, and I call you a journalist, that you wrote exactly what was said every meeting, time and time again, and no one up here or in this village could say you ever embellished on anything or cut back on anything. And I personally appreciate that. And I want to make sure we stay friends. When you're gone from there, you're always welcome here.
Thank you. That's what they paid me for.
Well, and yeah, well, other journalists get paid too, but they ain't, they're not quite your caliber. So I want to thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to be in there after?
That's his
Watch
stage,
it,
that's his
Joe.
stage name that you went by.
Not this time. No, I got that right. Took me less than 2 years. Right, Mary?
1, 2, 3. And we'll do one more. 1, 2, 3.
And are you going to stay a member in the National Restaurant Association?
Yes, I am. I gotta see if it might have lapsed. I gotta renew.
That is a running joke between Joe and myself.
I found
So with that ends my report. We're going into closed session tonight, Mr. Rhodes, is that correct?
Yes, sir. We are going into executive session to discuss Section 2C5 of the Open Meetings Act, acquisition of real property, and Section 2C11 of the Open Meetings Act, pending litigation. There will be no action taken after executive session, so the motion will be to go into executive session for those two purposes, and then to adjourn directly from executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Geezer. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.